Okay. Hi everybody. So we're just going to start off now. For those of you people who are Senior Bharucha, I am a holistic psychologist and relationship counselor at Illuminations. And today I'm going to talk a little bit on how your psychology can affect your biology. But before I go into more depth into that, how does it work? I'm just going to inform you all that if you have any questions or if you have any more queries, I will give each one of you enough time to, answer them or ask your questions away. For those of you who don't feel comfortable using the audio section, there's a chat section as well, which you can use, and you can put forward your questions over there. I'll read them out, I'll read through the comments, and I'll also respond back that way. So no worries. We're just going to start off with the topic now. Basically, how your psychology tends to affect your biology is a very in-depth topic, and it's a very important one as well, because each one of us, we are a living reflection of how we tend to think. Now, before you or any of you tends to think as to why I'm saying this, I will explain as to why each one of us is a product of our thoughts. Basically, the thoughts that we tend to think, the thoughts that each one of us have, they shape us up in many more ways than we can understand. They, of course, shape us up as individuals, they shape us up in terms of our personality, the way we tend to react, the way we tend to behave, but they also shape up our reality in many ways than we can understand. And today I'm going to talk a lot more in depth as to how this happens. So, our thoughts, like I said, shape us up, but our thoughts are predominantly inside our mind. Now, our mind is basically divided into three main parts. The topmost part is the critical mind, which occupies around 10 to 12% of space. The second most layer, half of which is in the conscious mind, is the critical mind, and half of the critical mind layer is in the subconscious mind. And the remaining part, that is the third most layer, which occupies the most space in our mind, is around 88 to 90%. It occupies space. That is the subconscious mind. Now, the mind in itself is like a ball that is 12 feet in diameter in terms of energy, which is all around each one of us. So it is around me, it is around each one of you as well, and it's divided into these three basic main types. Now, thoughts are a predominant factor coming from the conscious as well as from the critical mind. But these thoughts and the way we tend to think, the way we tend to perceive, is majorly influenced by everything that each one of us has experienced. Everything that each one of us has experienced majorly as children, especially in the age gap of 0 to 10 years, because this is the time that we are most influenced. We get influenced by our primary caretaker, which is our mother in most cases, or anyone else who tends to adopt that similar role, of course, by our secondary caretaker and by our external environment, which includes our school, our peer members, our other family members, and everybody else. Because our major incidents in life, our thought patterns, our perception is still developing in the age group of 0 to 10, that is the time when our innate personality, our basic personality, who we are as an individual tends to develop. And because who we are as an individual tends to develop at this point of time, this carries forward. So our reaction, our way of behaving, our way of responding, all of that is predetermined here. Now, why is all of this, our reaction, our way of responding, the way we behave, so important in life? Because life is only 10% of the situation that each one of us us encounter, and it's 90% of our response or our reaction to that situation. So to explain this in a better or in a simpler manner, for example, if I am walking down the road today and I'm in my own, positive frame of mind, I'm walking down the road and suddenly I just a little far off see my long lost friend. And I'm so happy seeing my long lost friend that I haven't met for many years, that I just shout out, saying, hey, XYZ, that is whatever his or her name is. Now, of course, because I'm so excited, I'm so happy to see my long lost friend after so many years, just suddenly, that I, of course, expect a positive and open and, a very warm response. But when I don't get that, or if I just don't get any response at all, I will either have two of the major responses. That is, one where I will feel very, very upset, very demotivated. I will feel, very sad, and I will tend to overthink as to why is it that that opposite person did not respond or did not even react back, or just completely brutally ignored me. Or I might end up feeling very angry because I feel very humiliated, I feel very embarrassed that why is it that the opposite person was not giving me such a favorable response. So this is my response. This is a typical response that any layman will usually have. But this is where the success ratio of people who are successful in life and laymen tends to differ. This is where each one of us, if we change our perception, if we change or modify our behavior, we will be able to shape up our reality the way we want it to be. So instead of me thinking that, oh, he or she's brutally ignored me, or he or she just did not acknowledge me, I can also think this way, that probably that other person just did not listen to my voice, or probably that other person was too caught up in his or her own troubles that they did not even realize that I was calling out to him or her. When I see the same situation in this different way, with this different perspective, the entire thing or the entire energy connected with it shifts, because now my perception towards this situation has shifted. Now I no longer tend or come from operating from a negative frame of mind. I no longer come from that low dull moment. I no longer come from that bad perspective, from that insecure environment. I'm coming from my own positive frame of mind, from my own security, from my own relaxation, with an open perspective. So that again, the third time or the next time the same person tends to meet me or bump into me, if I would have thought like that usual layman, feeling affected, feeling upset, feeling really sad, I would have just snubbed off that person, even if they would have come forward and responded. But now that I'm thinking in this opposite, in this positive, in this open frame of mind, with a different perspective, with a shift in my thinking, the next time this person will come, I will still give them a chance. I will respond with them, and we might be able to bring back that same So the idea here is that the way you react, the way you respond towards things, will determine how you get the fruits of those things, will determine whether you get a positive result to the same thing or you get a negative result. The situation was the same, but my reaction towards it was completely different. And that's what made all the difference. So this is the most important thing that each one of us needs to understand. Changing our perception, modifying it, making it into a more positive framework, so that the next time we interact with whoever it is, we end up getting what we deserve. And each one of us deserves to get that positive reality, that reality of the highest frequency. Each one of us deserves to get complete happiness, success, fame, prosperity, and progress in every way. So we start off with shifting our perception. Now I was talking about the mind. So just coming back to that, how does the mind and our perception have a role? So, like I said, in the age group of 0 to 10 years, as a child, our personality is shaped up. Who we are as individuals, we get majorly influenced over here. Not saying that we don't develop, post the age of 10 years or more. We do, but that which is developed then is our sort of secondary layer on our innermost personality that gets developed. This secondary layer is the layer that we can, then function out of at any point of time. But in life, when we will have either an emergency or a situation in which we don't know how to respond or react immediately, our primary layer, which is the one that we've experienced in this age group of when we were 0 to 10, that will definitely kick in each one of us. So if that is the case, it is important, it is essential, it is imperative that we understand, of course, our personality, but most importantly, we understand our perception, how we have become the way we have become, and for what reason. And a very important, powerful way of understanding that is exploring our subconscious mind. Now, like I mentioned, the subconscious mind occupies 88 to 90% of space in our entire mind. Now, because the subconscious mind is occupying 88 to 90%, of course, it is more dominant, but it is also more powerful. It is 6,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. And every single thing that each one of us as individuals we tend to do in life, all through life for so many years, all of that is each one of us functioning from only that 10 to 12% of our conscious mind. So for example, getting up, doing our business, going around interacting with friends, working, setting up goals, trying hard to accomplish them, establishing good relationships. All of that is each one of us functioning from our 10 to 12% of conscious mind. Now just take a moment and think, if each one of us is able to accomplish whatever it is that we've accomplished so far in life by just accessing this 10 to 12%, imagine how much more each one of us could achieve if we would just be able to access a little bit of our subconscious mind. Because it's in the subconscious mind that our deeply rooted beliefs, our perceptions, our behavior traits, who we are, incidents, situations that we've experienced, all of it tends to get stored. Because for the subconscious mind, there is nothing that is impossible. And because there is nothing that is impossible, the subconscious mind tends to absorb in everything without realizing whether this is positive or negative, whether this is good or bad, whether this is pleasant or traumatic. It absorbs in all of this, especially in the age gap of us being from 0 to 10 years. That is why it's important, it's imperative that we access our subconscious mind. Now, as regular laymen, in common life, our subconscious mind is usually not awake, it is not active during daytime. It only becomes active and alert when we fall asleep, because that is the only time our conscious mind takes a break, and that's the only time our conscious mind gives up control in our sleep state. So that's when our subconscious mind awakens. That is why a lot of us tend to have a lot of dreams, and in these dreams many of us tend to experience situations that we had encountered during the day. Many of us tend to experience situations that we could possibly experience in the future, so predictive events. Or for some of us, a lot of our fears, a lot of our negative stuck up energy, emotions that we were feeling that we could not adequately express out, all of that also tends to come out when we are sleeping, because that is the time when our subconscious awakens. It is alert, it's categorizing everything we've taken in during the day, and it's pushing out everything that's not needed. But if we want to achieve everything that we really need in life, if we want to move ahead from just being the layman, if we want that actual success, we want our goals to be accomplished faster in life, We want to experience that ultimate happiness, acceptance, love, positivity, growth, prosperity, abundance in every way. It is important and imperative that we access our subconscious mind even when our conscious mind is alert and awake. So how will we be able to do that? We will not be able to do that just by ourselves, but through a very powerful integrated modality, which is integrated clinical hypnotherapy, which is a scientific powerful tool. We will be able and we can access the subconscious mind even when the conscious mind is awake and alert. So what is hypnotherapy? Now, hypnotherapy is derived from the Greek word which means hypnos. Hypnos basically means nervous sleep. Now, before you think, what does this mean? I'll say it in simpler words. It just means that it's a state of altered awareness or altered consciousness. It's a state in which you are not completely asleep and a state in which you are not completely awake. It's a state in the middle, which is a very relaxing state of mind. It is a state that every mind of every individual craves to achieve. This is why, for those of us who meditate a lot, or those of us who are into spirituality, or who do a lot of yoga, pranayam, or any other holistic modality, that state of calmness, that state of stillness, that state of relaxation that we achieve when we are in our meditative state, or when we are, in yoga or pranayam, that is sort of the state that we can achieve over here as well. But here it is a more magnified, it is a more powerful and a more relaxing state of mind, if I can say. Now, hypnosis or hypnotherapy is the Western form of hypnotherapy that is used. So unlike other Eastern forms of hypnotherapy, wherein there could be adverse effects, here there are no such adverse effects, because this is only done for therapeutic purposes. So as an individual, this is only done to help you achieve, accomplish, set your goals. Here, through hypnotherapy, we access your subconscious mind and we help you pull out all those limiting beliefs, those limiting barriers, traumatic incidents, situations that you might have experienced in life, whether the intensity of that trauma was minimal or if it was too intense. We help you pull out all of that, release all of that the right way, help your body, help you vent this out in a very harmonious manner. And after that, we bring in, we integrate in your true, actual, authentic energy, energy of complete positivity, energy of complete growth, energy of complete progress, that is going to not only help you accomplish your goals, but that is going to help you be a more wholesome individual and help you move ahead, progress ahead in every aspect of your life in a more easy manner. So that is what we do when we access the subconscious mind. Now, like I mentioned, since this is the Western form of hypnotherapy, this is 100% safe and it is medicine free. So no usage of any form of medication, any external sort of input is put in here. It is you simply working with your subconscious mind in a completely safe, confidential environment, in a completely wonderful setup. It helps you heal, and us, through your therapist, via helping you, we are simply guiding you achieve everything that you've set yourself out to achieve. So that is why it's extremely crucial to, of course, access your subconscious mind, but it's also crucial to access your subconscious mind the right way, through a harmonious and safe way, which we can through hypnosis or integrated clinical hypnotherapy. Integrated clinical hypnotherapy has vast benefits. It is very massively used all over the world. Some famous celebrities who've also used this is the famous talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, who used it to quit smoking. Famous actor Matt Damon also used it for the same reason. Tiger Woods used it to increase his athletic performance, and it's been massively used by many others. It works excellently for problems ranging from anxiety management, anger management, stress, depression, physical aches and pains, diseases such as asthma, many more. And it also works on various blocks or obstacles that you might be facing when it comes to career, finance, relationships, or anything else. So it has everlasting effects on a lot of factors in a lot of areas in life. It is the most safe methodology that can be used, and as an individual you tend to feel very relaxed every single time you're using it, because it's simply just accessing your subconscious mind. So that is why hypnotherapy is very effective and very powerful. Now, before I move ahead into, giving you various tips or tools or techniques on how you can help yourself out consciously as well, and how you can help yourself out shift your perception and create the reality that you want, I'm just going to tell you one last thing, and that is, it is important to look at the limiting beliefs that each one of us might have. So for example, if I might have a limiting core belief that I am unlovable, it is important for me to work, be aware, and heal this limiting belief. Because when I heal this limiting belief, I will be then creating my new positive, empowered reality, wherein every individual and every situation will give me the experience of complete love, the experience of complete acceptance and happiness. Until and unless I have this limiting belief, because I have this limiting belief, I feel it is my reality unconsciously. It becomes familiar, it becomes known. I keep attracting similar incidents, similar people, and similar experiences that will reinforce this limiting belief that I'm unlovable. Which is why it is important and imperative for me to work on this and to help myself heal. Now, before we move ahead, and I move ahead to the part where I give each one of you various tips, tools that you can use to help yourselves bring about a shift in your reality, to help yourselves adopt a more positive frame of mind. If there are any questions, you can unmute yourselves and ask, or you can use the chat option also and put them down. I will respond, and then we'll be moving on. So I'm just going to wait for a minute or so. Okay, we have a question. So I'm just going to repeat that question. Okay, how to remove negative thought or thinking? Okay, so a very great way to remove negative thought or thinking. Okay, there are a lot of questions. I'm going to just respond to every question and then I'll move on to the next one. All right. So first of all, how to remove negative thought or thinking. A lot of the tips that I'm going to give you now will help you remove or work on your negative thoughts or thinking. But if there is a specific area that your negative thought is directed towards, what you can do is you can think of that specific area or that situation or that concerned individual. You can close your eyes, envision that that concerned individual or that situation is in front of you, and express out every single thing that you could not otherwise convey out. Or in certain cases, even if you did convey this out to that specific person or in that situation, you can repeat this process till you feel that immense relief and relaxation from within. So that is one tip that you can use to help yourself eliminate out your negative thought or thinking. Second great tip is to physically use or to physically activate your body. So maybe do some sort of hobby or exercise that will physically, help your body release out. Because scientifically, when your body starts moving or shifting, it produces more happy hormones within your brain center. When it is producing more happy hormones within your brain center, it helps you relax in even further, and it helps you you move in a better manner. So you could do that also. That will help you immensely. Also, just wait a little bit more. I will give you a lot more tips and techniques, and that will also definitely help you out. So I hope that has answered your question. There is a second question as well. How can I heal my disease? So if you could just be a little bit more specific, please, as to what sort of disease or ailment you are having, I will be able to then give you a better answer, a more customized answer. Okay, moving on. Sorry. What is the difference between past life regression and hypnotherapy? Are they the same? Excellent question. Thank you so much for asking that. Past life regression is a major component of hypnotherapy. So we basically I make my clients access their past lives when everything that they've experienced in the conscious mind, all the factors, whether they're internal factors or external factors, are dealt with. We have healed all of them, but still we don't have an explainable reason, or the particular ailment or issue is not getting healed. Then I help my clients access their past lives, because through the past life, often in that particular past life. So for example, if I have had a very bad migraine issue that got that started, or that I started experiencing when I was, for example, 20 years old, then, and we've worked with all the internal and external factors as that individual in this current life, but the migraine issue is dropped down, but it's still prevalent. Then I will go back and check into the past life and see where that migraine issue started off. Probably, for example, in that particular past life, I was, stabbed in the head, and that energy of that, stabbing is still there. The trauma connected with that stabbing is still there. And I was stabbed, in that past life when I was 20 years old, which is why it triggered back in this life when I was 20. And probably I had some thought at that point of time that, I am being misunderstood, or I could not communicate out. That is why when I was 20 years old here, and I tried to communicate, but I could not adequately communicate, and I started feeling that I'm being misunderstood, that memory from the past life triggered in my current life, and that's when the migraine issue started here in my current life. So this is an example. This is how, or the reason why we access the past life of the individual is so that we can identify the actual cause of that particular ailment, deal with the cause. When the human mind gets the awareness, oh, that this is just a past life, it's done with, it's dealt with, that triggering memory is no longer triggered off, it shuts down completely, and that is when we can move ahead in a harmonious manner. So this is how we access past lives. This is how we work around, and the basic difference is that it's a major component of hypnotherapy, and we use past lives accordingly. So I hope that has also answered your question. Where do the thoughts are, there's a third question, where do the thoughts are coming from, something which is not ours? Do you mean to say that thoughts that are not specifically yours, but you tend to have such thoughts, where are they coming from? If that is what your question is, usually thoughts could be, or we tend to pick up, or we tend to think even from our external environment, which is also a major contributor. So if in your external environment you're experiencing something, if in your external environment you are responding to certain things, there are people who are interacting with you, the way they respond, the way they react, the way the external environment factors influence you, play a role on you, that is also how your thoughts will be shaped up. But if there is another specific question that you need to ask in connection with this, please go ahead and do that also. I'm just gradually moving on to other questions. Okay, so in connection with how do I cure my ailment, the question is with skin, no cure for my skin disease, big unknown bumps on shoulder and chest. Okay, so if that is the case and you're saying that there is no cure for it, or you've not been able to help yourself cure this out, we will have to look at what are the internal factors. So inside what is happening in your system, what are the external factors, that is the environmental factors that are triggering of this skin disease. And I will have to take a lot of detailed case history as to why you're experiencing this skin disease. I would ideally suggest that please take a one-to-one session with me. You can do that through our Illuminations website as well, and I will be able to help you out, of course, work on this. Because if this is, and especially if your skin disease has been happening since a long period, for example for some years, then we will have to look at all of this. We will have to work through all of these factors. We will have to deal with all of these, and then you'll get your resolution. But be rest assured, hypnotherapy is an excellent tool to help you overcome with skin diseases. I am a living example of that. I have worked massively through my own skin disease, through my own acne. I no longer have that. I had massive acne till the extent that I had massive boils on my hands, feet, everywhere. Through hypnotherapy, working, accessing my past lives, working on my external factors, I have been able to overcome that. And I've also been using it for the same reason for a lot of my clients. So it works very well. Don't worry. Okay, moving on to the next question. Can we heal multiple sclerosis, which your own body is fighting against your immune system? It doesn't have a cure in modern medicine. Again, excellent question. Yes, you can heal multiple sclerosis till a major extent. Yes, modern medicine unfortunately doesn't have a complete cure for it up till now, but that is the reason why, despite me being a psychologist, I promote and I advocate, and I, with all of my heart, completely utilized healing modalities, because a lot of things are yet not discovered by science, unfortunately. And working with your subconscious mind, identifying the root cause which has triggered off or started off the multiple sclerosis, we will be able to see as to why this is happening. Also, a great example to help you understand this better is that it is our mind that has created the disease or the issue from our subconscious, whatever reason XYZ it is. So if it is our mind that has created the disease or the issue, our mind is also aware and capable of healing the same. So you can work around that also excellently. So definitely we can work around this. Again, if you feel comfortable enough, you can book a one-to-one session with me, and I'll be able to help you out better, because we'll need more details for this. But thank you for your question. Okay, there is another question. My diabetic father has been experiencing a strange, excruciating pain in the middle finger of his left hand for a couple of years. We tried everything, nothing helped. Can hypnotherapy help? Also, does he need to be physically present for treatment, or can he be treated remotely? Also, again, thank you so much for asking this question. And for the second part of the question, first of all, yes, we can identify as to why that strange, excruciating finger, specifically in the middle finger, has started. We will definitely look into that, and we can identify that and work around that pain as well, because like I said, hypnotherapy works excellently for aches and pains. Also, no, he doesn't have to be, he's not needed to be physically present. As a matter of fact, we have been doing online sessions for very long. I have been doing them for the past 4.5 years now, and hypnotherapy works excellently well in online sessions also. All we need is for him to be in a room where he is not disturbed. It will be completely confidential between me and him, and he just needs to, use a sort of an electronic device or a smartphone through which I can see his face clearly, so that when I'm communicating with him, it's very easy going. But no, he's not needed physically, because here we're working with the mind. So we don't need physical presence, but the same effects that face-to-face sessions have, he will still get the same effects. So don't worry. Okay, moving on to other questions. There's another question as well. How to treat people who are jealous from you, although you are kind to them and they hold comparison between you and them and observe you when something nice comes to you. Okay, so yes, there are a lot of people who will be jealous, of you, of your progress, of your kindness, of your good personality. But my suggestion would be to sort of ignore the jealousy and to ignore the response that these people give and continue down on your good, harmonious path. Continue down being that great individual that you are, because that is going to help you progress ahead, much faster in life. When we tend to focus on the jealousy that people, have for us, or when we tend to focus on the negative feelings that these people have for us, we are giving them more access into our own selves, into our own energy systems. And as a result of that, this can inhibit our progress as well. Rather, turn the blind eye towards them, continue down your own path, protect yourself, of course, the right way. Protect yourself energetically. So, if you use your crystals, create protective shields. If you don't, protect yourselves off by doing salt water cleanses, by giving out positive intentions that your energy stays put within you, and continue down your own path of being a good individual. Okay, gradually moving on. Most welcome everybody who's thanked me. I hope this has been useful. Those are all the questions that I have had so far. If there are still any other questions, okay, there's one more question. What could be the reason, sorry, of a teenager having strange cravings of scratching the wall and might be tasting it also? Does it have something to do with the mind? Could you let me know since how long the teenager is doing this? Is it few years now? Is it few months that this has started? How, if you could just let me know a little bit. But yes, maybe 4 to 5 years. Okay, yeah, then this definitely has a connection with the mind, because this is sort of a random behavior that will just come in like that for any reason. So we will need to see and again identify what is it that's causing that immense need in the teenager to go ahead and scratch that wall, taste that. What is it internally happening? What is it that's happening within the mind, within the system of that teenager, that's creating this sort of disharmonious response or behavior? Nothing just happens, like that within each one of us. All of us, we tend to be it is that has happened with us. So yes, there has to be something that's going on, and I'll be able to help out again, if I get more details and if I do a one later, I will be able to help you out better. How do we book? Most welcome. How do we book an appointment with you? Okay, so if you want to book an appointment, for all of you who need to book an appointment, you just need to go on the Illuminations website online and you will see me, Zinia Parucha. And under my name, you will see various time slots and you can choose whatever time slot you wish to book an appointment with me. And when that is done, you will get a message and that's it. You will come to know that you've booked in a session with me. And at the required time, our team from Illuminations, which is very capable and they are very fast, they will respond back to you also and will help you connect in with me. So it's very easy going. I've been doing this since long. It's very easy flowing, don't worry. If any of you might still have any questions about that also, please let me know. Also, there are still some more questions, so I'm just going to continue with those. Is it possible to do self-hypnosis to shift certain beliefs? Does it have to be continuous 21 days or less? Yes, it is possible to shift self-hypnosis, to use self-hypnosis to shift certain beliefs, but more than shifting certain beliefs, self-hypnosis is used to attract whatever it is that you feel is missing in your life. We use hetero-hypnosis, that is, external hypnosis, wherein I, as your therapist, we help you, shift out your limiting believes through heterohypnosis. Whereas in self-hypnosis, it's used more to attract in that abundance. It's used more to manifest what you want to manifest. It's used more to get what you want rather than release out stuff, because here your conscious mind is still alert in self-hypnosis. And yes, you need to continuously do self-hypnosis, the exercise initially at least for 21 days. The reason for doing this is because that is how you're reinforcing the law of association gets implemented in your mind starts perceiving it as a reality. A new positive neuro pathway is created in your brain. This is why you need to do it for 21 days consistently. That is the reason behind it. So I hope that answers that. There are still a few more questions. I'm just going to go ahead with that. How can I deal with my super sensitivity? Everything around me, all micro signals, and sometimes I wish I could skip that. Okay, so it's great to be sensitive, but like you said, there is a fine line between being sensitive and between being super sensitive. If you feel that you're super sensitive, it might be cut off a little bit and you to take a step back and to make sure that you've integrated your complete energies within yourself, to make sure that you're creating a safe, secure place, a protective space for your own self, and tend to function again in that safe, protective space for your own. You will tend to get attached to the smaller energy could possibly deplete because of that, and you will not be able to progress ahead much faster. So how do you skip that is by creating a your complete control, you ensuring that you are maintaining your space, establishing, ensuring that you're communicating out in a harmonious manner and that you're communicating out these healthy boundaries. That will also definitely help. If you still feel that you need more insight, then you can still go ahead and ask. Okay, there are still a few more questions. How can we mold our mind to recover the COVID situation? Excellent question. Thank you so much for asking. You can mold your mind to recover from the COVID situation by using the next steps and tips that I'm going to give in just some more time. So just wait for a little bit more. Last question, thanks. So self-hypnosis is more for manifesting. Yes, it's more for getting in everything that you want to achieve and get in, and you want to manifest the right way. Yes. Heterohypnosis will of course help you remove, release, and shift those limiting beliefs and bring back in that positivity. Of course, heterohypnosis is also used for manifestation, but it's also used to pull out all of that toxicity, all of that negative roots or limiting beliefs that are stuck within you. So I hope that answers your question. Any other questions for one point, and after that we're going to start off with sandals. Okay, so I think these are all the questions so far. If any might still more questions, don't. I've talked and go ahead and I'm just gradually going to move on to the tips and tools. So starting off, the first tip and tool that will also help each one of you deal with this current situation, but it's also going to help you work on your negative beliefs. It's going to help each one of you feel more relaxed, and you can customize these tips and tools for whatever issues or problems you're facing. So don't worry. The first tip and tool or technique is using breath work. Now, I have personally used this breath work technique, and I have passed this on to a lot of my clients, and they have immediately experienced a lot of relaxation and relief within themselves also. So using the breathwork technique will help each one of you feel a lot better. The breathwork technique basically works on the 3-1-2 count. So basically, as I count from 1 to 3, in counts of 3, take in deep breaths. In the count of 1, pause and hold your breath. And when I count from 1 to 2, breathe out or exhale out. So this is the 3-1-2 breath work technique. I'm just going to demonstrate that out to each one of you as well. One last time demonstrating this. So as each one of you observed, when I'm breathing in, I'm counting in from 1 to 3. I hold my breath for a count of 1, and then I exhale out through my mouth, counting from 1 to 2. So that is the 3-1-2 breath work technique that works excellently, really, really well, and helps each one of you, feel more relaxed, feel more rejuvenated very, very fast. So you can do this, and that will also help you feel very, very good extremely fast. The second technique that each one of you can use is the visualization technique. So for example, if you're facing a specific problem in life, and you're facing this specific problem in a certain area, for example in the relationship area, you feel that you can get a lot more from your partner, or you feel that your communication can become more strong, or whatever it is, then in that case what you can do is every single day before you go to sleep, half an hour, and in the morning after you get up, half an hour, immediate half an hours before you sleep, immediate half an hours before you wake up, visualize yourself with your partner living that happy life, feeling very satisfied. Visualize the opposite of everything that you feel you've been missing out on. So if you feel that your communication can be very strong, visualize that you are now communicating in a very harmonious manner. Visualize that your partner is not only understanding everything that you're saying, but is also adopting to what you're saying, is responding in that harmonious manner with you. Visualize that you are progressing ahead in an excellent manner. Visualize that your harmonious relationship is getting more and more strong, more and more reinforced further. The more you visualize this consistently every day, in the night before sleeping half an hour, in the morning immediately after waking half an hour, you're going to attract that energy of positivity in your relationship, or wherever, whichever area you want to, and you will observe that you will gradually start progressing ahead in whatever that limiting area was. So visualization works excellently. The only key to this is that you need to do this consistently till you start seeing more tangible, complete results. So if you start seeing 5% results, don't stop. Continue with it till you see 100% results. Now, in some cases, if the problem is intense and has been going on for many years, for example, 10 years or 12 years, you will have to do this consistently for at least few months till you observe and see that shift and change. But this is an excellent technique, works really well, and helps you get in what you need. Now, the reason why I mentioned half an hour before sleeping and half an hour before waking up is because that is the time when the subconscious mind is most active. So visualizing at that point of time helps your subconscious mind absorb and take this in faster, easily, and in a more harmonious way. So use this exercise, and I guarantee it will help each one of you very well. The third exercise that I would also suggest is the diary dumping exercise. Now, again, I've given this to a lot of my clients, and I've made a lot of my clients, especially who feel this intense, emotion of anxiety or stress or frustration or anger, use this technique. Each one of you can use this for any other negative emotion that you might also end up feeling. You don't do anything. Basically, you just take any diary or sheet of paper that you have, write down everything that is bothering you connected with that situation. So for example, if you've had a massive fight with your family member and that's affecting you, it's bothering you, write it down. Write down in as much detail as you possibly can, in that connected situation. So for example, my father said this, I hated his tone, I just did not like his behavior, his facial expressions were so angry, it made me feel this burning sensation in my chest, I could not think, I responded back shouting because I felt misunderstood, whatever. Just write down in as much detail as you possibly can. Once you've written it all down, if you still feel the need to repeat that incident, you still feel that no, I still need to vent out, continue to write down as much as you want to. You can repeat the same incident, the same situation, the same feeling multiple times. Once you've written it all down completely, don't sit and reread it or don't glance at it. When you finished it off, immediately take that sheet of paper, tear it off or burn it off, whatever makes you feel more comfortable, because that way your mind, especially your subconscious mind and your body, will know that you are now ready to move ahead in life, that you are now ready to progress ahead in life the harmonious way. So use this is an excellent tool and technique that will help each one of you, especially in this current situation where most of us tend to feel so frustrated and tired, because of the pandemic. Use this and I guarantee you it will give you immediate relief and relaxation. Again, the key here is just don't do this for one day. Do this consistently. If there are deeper rooted issues or problems you are facing, do it consistently for that situation, for that individual, for at least as many days, at least for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Help yourself, vent out the right way and then move ahead. This will give you immense relief and relaxation and will help you out. The key to this is also you will know when to stop when you feel that relief and relaxation internally in your system. So when you feel that, that is your cue to stop. So that is also an excellent technique and tip and tool that will help you move ahead. And of course, like I said, if you still feel that you're facing your problem at a very high level, or the intensity is too much for you to deal with, or you need more clarity and awareness, you can take in an online session with me through our website Illuminations, and I'll be able to help you out better. If there are still any more questions, we have few more minutes, so please go ahead, put down your questions, and then we'll be ending.
Hello, this is Madiha. Can you please show this technique of breathing? Like, I couldn't understand properly. So if you can just show it
Sure.
again, it'll be great. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, Madihar. Thank you for being brave enough and using the audio. Kudos to you for doing that. So the breathing technique basically works on the 3-1-2 count. So basically, when I'm breathing in, I count from 1 to 3. Till then, I breathe in completely. Then I count till 1, and that is when I hold my breath. And then I count from 1 and 2. So in 2 breaths, I then exhale out. Here, note that I'm exhaling out using my mouth and not just exhaling out through my nose, because that way my body will vent out in an easier manner. I'm just going to demonstrate this now. Observe my hand movements because that will show you how I'm counting. Okay. Once again.
Okay, can I repeat? Like you inhale for 1, 2, and 3 counts, then you hold it for
Correct.
2, 1, and 2, and then you exhale 3, 2, 1, right?
No, I hold
Okay.
it for just 1 count and then I exhale out in counts of 1 and 2. So that's why it's the
Okay.
3-1-2 count.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Anyone else? Please let me know. Okay. How many sessions usually does it take to program the mind to quit smoking for good so you don't go back? This is an excellent question. Yes, I specialize it's alcohol, so it's such a coincidence that I'm getting this question. But usually if you quit smoking, it takes a good 5 sessions to quit. But smoking is the only modality in which we don't guarantee, complete results, because it is based on the client. Sometimes the clients say that they want to give up, but they don't feel that motivated completely to go through it, and that's when the issue can come. But usually 5 sessions for quitting smoking and you don't go back. I've had my clients who've used this for not only quitting smoking, but for also alcohol and for substance abuse, and they have not gone back. So yes, it works excellently well. Any other questions? So it takes 5 sessions. What is the interval in between? Smoking or any other addiction therapy is the only sort of area in which we don't take breaks. So this is the only modality, I mean, the only topic in which I do back-to-back 5 sessions. So for example, if I started off taking sessions from Monday, then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all consistent days sessions continue, because that is what is needed to quit. I hope that answers your question. Somebody's asked me about how much I charge usually for a session. Don't worry, it's up on our website on Illuminations Online, so you can go ahead and look that out also, and that will answer your question. Any other questions? Please let me know. Okay, yes, there is another question.
Hi, I
Yes.
actually want to ask you, since I'm a student of clinical hypnotherapy as well, and we have finished our level 5 and we are doing our cases, the 11 cases, which is like stopped right now because of the situation.
Yes.
Ask you if I wanted to get into more of something with play therapy and something which was trauma centered, art therapy or play therapy. So would you be knowing any places in Dubai or India or anywhere, since I have not done my master's, so it's a little difficult to get into a lot of courses, but something that does not require a master level, I would really appreciate.
Right. Sure. So thank you so much for asking your question. Yes, I'm aware of the whole mentorship thing as well. If you want to do play therapy or art-based therapy, because I'm a psychologist, I specialize in mental health, you can always contact me in and we can do customized, like sort of a workshop wherein I can teach you how we can use art-based therapy, how we can using various mandalas, to help us identify the triggering elements, the root issues, the other things that are not easily identified otherwise. So yes, again, you can just contact me in and I will be able to help you out. If you want more specific workshops, also just contact me for the same and I will get back to you for details and dates regarding the same. I hope that answers your question. I missed out on one question that was in the chat section, so I'm just going to go ahead and read that out. How can I know if the disease is a spiritual possession? Can it show in hypnotherapy? Yes. If it's a spiritual possession of any kind, or if it's an external energy possession, you will be able to identify that also in hypnotherapy through various methods. So don't worry, it can be easily identified and can be dealt with. That is not a problem. Okay, when under hypnosis, how do we get to know that we are just not simply imagining things? You will come to know that you're simply not imagining things because when you start seeing the adequate results, that is when you come to know that this is not just you imagining something, but it's reality. Also, let me just tell you one thing: if each one of us to imagine something, we do not imagine such gruesome past lives or such gruesome traumatic things, right? If it's just us imagining, but we would not imagine the best. So that's also how you'll be able to identify. Okay, we're almost up with time. So if there is a last question, I'm just going to take that, and after that, I'll be ending today's session. If any of you might have still any other queries, please contact me and ask through Illuminations. They're always available, and we will be able to help each one of you out in a better manner. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Okay, excellent. So if there are no other questions, thank you so much for joining in, guys. I hope this session was useful for each one of you. And please let me know if you use the techniques, because these are excellent techniques that will help you guys a lot. The session was so enriching. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much
Most
for
welcome.
all that you
Welcome.
shared. It's really nice. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Thank you for joining in.